I gave myself an invitation to practice listening about 48 years ago. And it was because I got a tape recorder for my birthday. It was 1953. It was the first time that tape recorders were available to people on the home market. And it was a very interesting impact on my life. I started recording whatever I could record from my window. I put the microphone in the window and just let the tape run.
But I think that women are maybe more concerned about communication.
Communication and networking. My work is really about building a community of listeners who interact with one another and respect each other's space. Why don't we step upstairs here and I'll show you my chaos.
Oh, okay. Chaos is served.
Because I'm serious.
You like chaos.
Seriously chaotic. Here's a photo for you.
Let's see if I know who that is. Oh, it's you. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's me.
I can sort of see your eyes. That's you.
That's me as Dr. Pinkus Olinsky when I was playing in the big Jewish band in San Diego. This was, we formed this band in 1971 to play for a Jerry Rothenberg piece, because he needed a klezmer band and there weren't any. There was no klezmer around.
At that time, yeah.
Not at all. And then it went into hiatus for a while, a few years, and then Jerry's son Matthew wanted a bar mitzvah, so we got the band back together. And then we stayed together for a while.
Oh, yeah?
And then we started getting dates, and so for the first date, Ron Raboy, who was the leader of this band, told the guys to wear, a suit and a hat like that. And so I thought about it for a while. He didn't say anything to me about what I should wear. Right? So I went out and got a wig and the beard and the stash and the suit and the hat. And I showed up at the Old Time Cafe where we were going to play with my accordion and freaked them out completely. They didn't know who the heck it was coming in. Well, I really loved music. And so, music was my role model. And I'm really kind of serious about that. First time I heard one of my pieces played that I had written and had to hear it from instrumentalists, the only thing I can say is that there was a feeling that was really ecstatic and euphoric that arose inside of me. And as a matter of fact, I was in a composition class at the University of Houston where I went, and I walked out of there flying, just feeling fantastic hearing this music, and then I stopped going to any of my classes and just went and wrote more music. So it's the passion of making music that has driven my whole career. And everybody is my role model in a way. Everything that I hear.
Where are we? We are in the gallery space of
Deep listening space.
the deep listening space.
Yeah, it's good. We call it the gallery.
This is deep listening space.
This is it, yeah. Yes.
Is this where the musical events are as well? In this space?
We have music and readings and of course, exhibitions, installations, whatever is needed. It's where the Dream Festival happens in October, Ion's Dream Festival. All kinds of stuff.
And when did you open the space up?
Well, we bought the building in August of 1996.
Oh, so it's not that long.
No, but the foundation has been going since 1985. I founded it then. And
in this town?
Yeah, actually. I had an office in New York for a couple of years when I was living there, and then moved everything up here.
This is a big scene of alternative and holistic medicine practice in this area.
Yes, all around.
Which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of it.
I wonder why this region has such a proliferation of that. It's interesting to me in a way. But
well, I think this region needs a lot of healing. Maybe that's what's going on. But also, it's a very beautiful area, the Hudson Valley and the Catskills. Quite magical, I'd say, in the Hudson River Valley.
What led you here?
Fate, I guess. I was on sabbatical leave from my job at the University of California in San Diego. And Lyndon Montano, who was my partner at the time, and I came to spend the summer up here. She's a native of Saugerties, and we spent the summer in this really beautiful place on the Hudson. It was a property that belonged to the family, and there's something really special about it. And I had also connected with the Creative Music Studio, CMS, and also the Zen Mountain Center and the Karmatriyana Dharma Chakra, the Tibetan center that was developing.
The Creative Music, was that Carl Berger's?
Yeah, it was Carl Berger, and it was going. It was toward the end of its viability, actually, because by the time I got here, it had started in the 70s.
Right.
And that's a time when funding was more abundant.
Right.
It had CETA funding and New York State Council funding and this and that. And also it was before Reagan was elected president, and when he
brought out the scissors.
Yeah, he brought out the scissors and made a strong dollar, and that because a lot of the life of CMS depended on students that came from Europe and could afford to pay the tuition. But after Reagan, that began to drop away, and so that hurt the CMS very badly. And so I worked with them for a year, trying to help bring it about, but the management of the funds was just too gone, so to speak. And so I met a lot of people, and so anyways, I was getting ahead of my story. That summer, 1980, I just kind of felt drawn to come here. And so I went back to UCSD and resigned from my job. I was full professor.
Wow.
Up in the ranks there, and
a radical decision.
yes, it was. And I didn't go on leave. I just quit.
Right.
And decided that I wanted to fly free from that situation, and do my own thing. And so by 1985, I founded this as a nonprofit organization and as a platform for my ideas and work, and so that's how it happened. And so basically, what I've tried to create here is a creative cultural center, meaning that I'm working on being able to fund an artist in residence program, so that we can bring people from international scene here to work on a project and to maybe present it or have it on our label if it's a recording, and work with the community, to help enrich it, and especially we work with the Kingston Children's Home, which is youth at risk, and
which is what?
Youth at risk.
Oh, okay.
Troubled teenagers, and we've had some really nice, successful events for them over here. Like they come over and read their poetry, and the last one there were other poets. So it was mixed, their poetry mixed with some of the poets around here. And that was really very interesting.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
And so we've had Reynolds here from Argentina.
Yeah, I know Reynolds.
I love Reynolds. They took my deep listening retreat in Argentina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's how I met them, and how we kind of connected over the years. But they came here and they did a workshop with the children, and it was beautiful. I mean, within an hour they had them making music. That's really. So we want to bring them back and bring them here to work for, have a residency for about a month, and where they could work on a project in the studio and record something and present something.
Yeah, I like them.
They're really special.
I've ran into them a couple of times when we were touring around.
Right, and also to work more with those kids from the home. Great. So that's the kind of the model is project-oriented work and possibility of staying here. And if I could get the apartments subsidized so that we can still pay the mortgage, then we would have a place for artists to stay when they come through, for shorter or longer terms. So that's, and then of course we have the gallery, which with exhibitions almost nonstop.
Yeah.
We have the 350th anniversary of Kingston happening, and there's going to be an African American exhibit coming in June, right here, as part of that celebration. Because the Underground Railroad went through here.
Goes through here.
Yeah. And also Sojourner Truth was in this area, in West Hurley and so on.
Right. Cool.
I mean, I'm happy to acknowledge all influences, and I mean, I don't think anyone could escape the influence of John Cage's work in the 20th century. That's for sure. I often resist being lumped into what is the phrase, Cage and his followers, because I don't feel like a follower, but a partner in working with sound and opening to it, because most of the time we shut it out. But in meditation, certain aspects of your possibility or capability are emphasized. And in this practice of what I call deep listening, my interest is in balancing inside and outside, so that you have the flexibility to be taking in all of the sounds that are going on, but also taking in what is coming to you through your own thought or intuition, but making a field of that so that you can readily and flexibly go from one form to another. thank you very much. It was wonderful to experience this beautiful space with all of you. And there's a reception, and I hope you come back and say hello. Okay.
I'm Christina. I'm a student here. Yes. I've never heard anything sound like that before.
Oh, pretty wild.
Yeah, each time you press the keyboard, a new image comes to my mind.
Oh, really? You had a lot of images.
It was very
What any highlights of the imagery?
I think one of the ideas that came to my mind was a sick woman's sheets in the wind.
Really?
Yeah.
Sheets.
And a flute spending a night in the woods.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. It's a pleasure to be here.
Same here. All right.